See this little unit? We call it the Hypnotizer, Catcherman's Hypnotizer. And I'm going to show you what this thing actually does and why it catches so many fish. It's designed to go through the water at just making bubbles and all kinds of racket, which will attract fish. It actually is a fish attractor. The weight here holds this at this point right here. The back of it is designed when the fish hits this, he trips it. It comes down like that. It actually will help you bring up a big fish. If he's a tiny big fish, little bitty fish, and he can't pull it down, you might drag him away before you realize he's there. But if he's any size, he will do that, and you will know he's there. And you're no longer fighting the unit itself. You're only fighting the fish. Then we will have from a 4 to a 6 foot leader behind that with some kind of a little bait. It could be a little spoon, it can be a little spinner bait, it could be a little crankbait, anything. I prefer the little spoons. That's my preference. And troll as slow as you can, but any kind of a boat will do. This is the most fish catching device I've ever seen in all my years of fishing right here.
Tell me about what else is like this, and why is this one better than everything else that's out there?
Well, in the first place, it won't drag you out of the boat. You can pull it with just anything that you can bass fish with. You can pull it. A kid can sit there and hold it. When you catch a fish, it will trip. It'll actually help you bring in a big fish. And if you hit the bottom with it, you don't have to pull it in to re-trip it. All you do is drop it, pick it up, it's right back fishing, just like that, automatically. There's nothing on the market that I know of that will fish with this thing and is easy to fish. Like the doctor told me that day, he said this is so easy to use. And you can fish it with anything, and actually, if you can throw a Carolina rig, it's deadly to throw. I stopped, asked JT, I stopped the day me and him fished just to show him and caught several fish just casting out. This thing's deadly at anything you want to do. And the little boats, really, they're a little better to fish out of because they'll throw slower. I've been asked a lot of questions what this thing will catch and how it'll catch and who can catch. And then they'll say, well, Ellie, you're a professional and you know the lake and you can catch fish anywhere. Well, let me tell you a little story. And I want to introduce you to a friend of mine standing here who has been on the lakes of fishing maybe 10 times in his whole life. And I want him to tell his story of where me and him went to a lake that I had been on one time 20 years ago. And I would like for him to tell his story.
Well, Ellie, I appreciate that, and it was quite an exciting experience. I was fortunate enough to get Ellie to take me fishing on one of his excursions, and we went to a lake that he earlier said that he'd only been to one time. And when we arrived, the lake was so low we had trouble getting the boat in the water, and then there were fish floating because there was not enough oxygen in the water. We were the only boat on the lake. No one was catching any fish on this lake. But Ellie said, well, you know, I've got confidence in my little hypnotizer here. Let's just see what happens. And within minutes, we were set up and fishing, and we fished about 2 hours, and I caught 75 fish, which is more fish than I've caught 5 times over in my sum total of my life. And it was one of the most exciting experiences I've ever had. Worst conditions possible. I had 5 minutes of training. Ellie showed me just how not to mess up the rod when I put the thing out and count the pulls. And within minutes, I was catching fish. And we literally, this was in the middle of the day, the heat, terrible conditions, and we caught 75 fish in 2 hours, and it was the best fishing story I've ever had to tell. And I appreciate it, Ellie. Thank you for taking me.
Thank you. So there you have, folks. You've got it. If he can do it, you can do it.